Hey guys, today we're doing something a little bit different. No.
So we're out here in this field that I've been subsoiling and ripping roots out. I'm going to take a moment and show you what we've done. I have gone one direction already on this field, and now I've crossed it this way. Now I'm getting ready to X the field because I'm still pulling roots out, and I want to get as much root out of it as I can possibly get. Otherwise, these mesquites will start to come back again. We're probably going to have mesquite coming back, and I'll probably have to do this again over and over a couple times. But we're going to get this field cleaned up. Let me show you what it looks like right now. So I decided to do this for you. I wanted you to see how big the roots really are. So there's not much to compare them to. You look at them on pictures or the video, and they don't look like they're just huge roots. But this is one root that it's still attached. And that's why I have to continue to crisscross this until I can pull these roots out of the ground. Now I'm 6'4", and this one's over my head. And this is what I'm pulling out of the ground. Now, not all of it is this big. This is not the biggest one though. It's just an example of what I'm pulling up. So the LS has done pretty good. I mean, really it has. It's a 73 horsepower tractor. I'm pulling these shanks through now at about 16 inches, right around 16 inches. Look, this has done better than I thought it was going to do. I did not think that I would be able to pull this through at the very beginning at 12 inches and then be pulling roots out of the ground. I wasn't sure, okay? But it's done better. I figure I would have to start off about 8 inches and then I'd have to come back in and then drop it a little bit more. I also thought I might even have to use one shank and not two shanks like I'm doing. So we have checker patterned this field already. I have already come back in and X'd it, or I'm Xing it now. So the roots are coming up. They are. It's going to take a little while to do this. This is not a one-time and we're done job. And that's what I'm talking about right there. I just snagged another root, and that was a hard one. So we're going to bring it down a little bit. We're going to put it in reverse. And we're going to lift it as we back up. There we go. Easing out of that stuff. And then I move over just a little bit to see if I can catch the edge of the root instead of that whole root. That way we don't tear something up. So here we go. Look, I admit it, a heavier tractor and about 100 horsepower would probably walk right through this. Maybe a little more horsepower. There it goes. It actually pulled right through it. So some of you may know that I don't have ballast in my tires. I don't have water. I don't have antifreeze. I don't have anything. I just have air. And I don't have wheel weights either. I don't want to shear bolts all the time right now. And that's what probably would end up happening. And I don't want to do that. I would rather for the tractor just to kind of ease to a stop, which is mostly what it does. And it spins a little bit. And then I know I can move over just a hair and I grab the edge of those roots and I start to pull them out of the ground. The reason it stops is because I'm grabbing a stump a lot of times, and it's not able to actually pull that entire stump up, like right there. That's another one. Man, and that was a hard one right there. That's actually harder than any of them so far. Bring it down, put it in reverse, lift as you back. There we go. And all we're going to do, and I mean when I say move over a little bit, I move over about 6 inches is all. I don't move over that much. Now I get my RPMs back up good ways, bring my RPMs up, drop it back down, and I moved over about 6 inches. That's all I moved over. See if it catches again. It might. Nope. Oh, yep, there it is right there. Real. I want you to see this. I don't want you to think that I'm not working this tractor very hard. I have to ease through this with these roots sometimes, and that's to keep from tearing up the tractor. I'm not here to tear up my tractor. I can't afford another one. Okay, I've told you a lot of stuff about, taking care of my tractor and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not babying it. And this is not babying it. You've seen me come to complete stops where I can't get pulled through something. So far, I haven't broke any shear bolts, thankfully. But I'm pulling through some pretty nasty stuff, and I'm not babying the tractor. You're seeing the tractor do its job. Like, when I told you I was going to review the LS tractor, I'm really reviewing it. This is what I would do with any of my tractors. And I want you to see it. I'm not just running a brush hog behind it. I've got a subsoiler right now behind it, a ripper, and I'm ripping this soil up. It's 2 shanks, about 16 inches or so in the ground. Every once in a while it sinks a little bit more. I'm grabbing roots of mesquite, and some of you guys that are up in the northern areas don't know what mesquite are. Look it up. Look up what mesquite are. I call them, that's a devil's bush. Thorns about that long. And I've been dealing with this stuff ever since I've owned this property, which we've had it for many years. And it's the devil's tree. So down here in Texas, we deal with 2 different, I call them invasive species of trees, one being Weisach and the other one being mesquite. And I hate them both. I really do. I have a Weisach. I'm looking at one right now, and I have lots of mesquite, and I'm slowly but surely getting rid of them. But it's taking a lot of poison, herbicides. It's taking a lot of patience, and they don't just pop out of the ground. So what is a Weisach? Well, this is a Weisach right here, and if you get real close, you get in here and look. They got little small thorns all over them. There's one, there they are right there. One of the things that you have to understand about Weisach is they're very, very hard to kill, and they're resilient. Over here is a small mesquite, and I think it's important for you guys that's never seen a mesquite tree. These are the thorns, and these are small thorns. Let me show you something. Let me see if I can find a better example. A lot of these have been pushed around. Mesquite thorns run all the way down this limb. They're all over it. I'm talking about flat tires. You got to be really careful in this stuff. And these are small ones. These get to be the size of regular trees, up to 25, 30 feet tall. I've got some on my place that have bases that I cannot reach around with my arms. This kind of gives you an idea. And this is the constant regrowth that you get just shredding them. So they don't shred down and they don't die. So you got to pull roots, or you got to poison them. That's the only way you can get rid of these mesquites. Only way. All right, so this is some of what we've been pulling up. This is a basic part of the tree that used to be here and the root system that goes into the ground with it. You can see how big this is. I can get both fingers around it. So this is at the base of that tree, and I'm ripping these out of the ground. This is quite a job, and for a 2-shank ripper, even though I'm not going, but I'm going about 12 inches now. Actually, when I started crisscrossing, we dropped it down about almost 16 inches. And so, and it's pulling a little bit harder, but it is pulling through it without any issues. And but this is the type of stuff that we're pulling up, and I think you should see that so that you have a better understanding of why I'm ripping this ground up and what I'm pulling out of it. This is just one example. Basically, you need to understand this is I'm not here trying to sell you a tractor. I'm not here to sell you an LS. I really don't care if you buy a Kubota or a John Deere or any of those that most people would call it a top tier brand. I don't see that they're that much better in quality in some cases. Now, there's some exceptions to the rules, so before I get hammered in the comment section, I know that. For the cost of these tractors, the LS was the most appealing. And now, as far as the longevity, I can't predict the future. All we can do is buy the tractor and run it. And that's why I'm doing these reviews. Hopefully, it does a really good job. And so far it has, and I've been very satisfied with it. Are there some quirks about it that I don't like here and there? Yes. But that's going to be with any brand of tractor you buy. I think there's been some problem with dealer support or dealers supporting their customers. I get that, and that's wrong, and it should be fixed. I've heard I just heard through the grapevines. I don't have any insight on this, but I've heard through the grapevines that LS is really working with their dealers and so forth. I've also had comments that people don't like that some of the LS tractors are being sold at some lawnmower shops, as some people have put it. Some of you might be wondering why that's important. Well, if you're buying a tractor from, let's say, a motorsports place, and they don't have a full-blown service department for the tractor, I get what you're saying. You're a little nervous about that, and you should be. Thankfully, where I bought my LS, they have a full-blown service department, and they only sell LS as their top brand. That's what they're selling. I believe they sell a few bad boy tractors. And I bring all that to your attention because I understand the concern there, and I think and I hope LS has taken a look at that, because that makes a difference in the tractor in itself and being able to get it fixed and have it serviced. I thought long and hard before I bought this LS tractor, and I have to be honest with you. I was a little bit nervous, and still am to a little bit, but it's done a great job. It really has. Will I ever have problems with it? Yes, but you'll have problems with any other tractor. So if you don't believe that, why are you worried about the service department at John Deere or Kubota? Well, I can't get it serviced, or I can't get parts. If they're not going to break down, why would you worry about that? Just more examples. These are more of the roots that we're pulling out of the ground. And again, some of this is still stuck in the ground. And so that's the purpose that I'm looking at in order to get this stuff out of the ground. We're going to have to turn this. All right, well, you saw it. We've crisscrossed this like a checker pattern, then I X'd it. We've got a lot of roots out of it. This is some of the stuff that we were pulling out. So the LS did really good. Until next time though, thanks.